Hi, this is David Halen, and you are listening to Slight Rain from my story, Status Stranded. I hope you enjoy. It's a joy to see you again, Ellie's father told me with pleasure, but my father didn't say a word. His eyes were low and his face was relaxed in a mournful expression. I was conflicted. It's wonderful to see Allie's father smiling and filled with happiness after being dead for over a year, but my father looks so sad. It's good to see you too, I said to Allie's father before I turned to my father. Why are you so downcast, father? He looked up at me and had a certain kind of reaching out expression through his eyes. Then he looked over at Allie's father in a way that asked for privacy. Her father's smile waned, but still remained as he took a few steps away from father and I. If spirits could sigh, I think father did when he turned back to me. Have you come to scold me? He asked with a drag to his voice. Scold you? For letting that happen, he said slowly. Letting your mother get the gun. I shook my head. His head lowered. It's still my fault. No, it wasn't. No, it was. She knows to look for things. She may not have been sleeping that night for all I know. I was silent. I fucked up, Rain. I fucked up a lot on that day, he said with the honest sincerity that I've remembered him for. Go on, yell at me, cuss me out, slap me, hit me. Whatever. The afterlife doesn't punish me for that. So I reside here with those thoughts plaguing my mind eternally. My words were reclusive as he said all of that to me. He stood there expecting the worst, but I had nothing awful to give him. The red sand seemed to be blown in the breeze, like the tides of an ocean against the beach, smoothly going against the mountainous dunes like a thin fog. After long moments, I was finally able to answer my father. Her onslaught was my second to last sorrow concerning her, I explained. My first sorrow from her was that you kept her close. Rain, I know, I interrupted him. You thought you could change her mind, my voice raised with those words, but doing so was as simple as turning the sun into water. He opened his mouth to speak, but I didn't give him a chance to. Of all of those god-awful fucking years living under her heavy shadow, my voice growled as I spoke, the darkness of her shadow only giving me the comfort of consistency that each day was gonna be goddamn hell for both you and me. My voice shook with those words. All you had to do was let her go. I shouted at him. Fucking let her go. I don't know what she would have done if I told her to leave, he retorted. Oh, you know she would have been fucking pissed for 2 minutes before she stormed out the door, and we would never see her again. My voice sounded so desperate for something that couldn't be fixed. If you would have done that, she would have died on Earth for the betterment of everyone. I made sure those words nailed into his mind as I meticulously said each word. But instead, you had to keep her violent nature around, and because of her, she fucking killed a large part of our family. She killed 2 of my best fighters, and she mentally scarred Allie. She is never going to be the same again because of your inability to fucking let her go, father. He stared at me in wide-eyed downcast. Like chickens keeping a fox, thinking that she'll be nice and lay some eggs, like a butterfly trying to tame a hornet. I shook my head. How could you not see that in her? Rain, I don't answer any of that, I shouted at him. Why? Why are you spending eternity thinking about this? It's fucking useless, Father. It's so fucking useless. What are you gonna do with your worries? Look around you. Sand. You're in a desert filled with the dead people. What are you gonna do? Make amends? Do amends even fucking matter, Father? You make peace with another dead man, and what are they gonna do if you don't? Will they kill you? Will you go to the second circle of hell if they kill you here? No! Rain, no, Father! I stopped him again. Fucking let it go. It's useless and nothing can be done now. I was taking deep breaths that came and went like a flock of birds darting back and forth in a field. Both Father and I stared at each other with total contrasting emotions until he finally spoke up. Son, he said weakly, can I ask you something? I was fuming, but I crossed my arms and gave him permission. What was the last sorrow from her you had? I sighed. I still remembered that total mental exhaustion of a day, like it had just happened. I feel like I relive that day every time I wake up, and as I try to fall asleep at night. I answered him. There was an alien fleet, and the mothership was a gladiatorial arena of sorts. One of the old world leaders was in charge of it, and said that if someone doesn't fight for this planet, he owns the planet. For a little while, the fights went well, until Mother was on the floor. I stopped to catch my breath. She slaughtered 2 of my men in a row, and Allie was my last fighter that I had sent out there. My eyes were starting to well up. I thought I was going to lose my fiancé to my psycho mother. Fuck, she didn't even know if she was gonna make it. I choked up before the last words. And then, the woman that I love killed the woman that I hated the most. Father was bewildered by everything I had just said. Oh, God. I took a few deep breaths before asking my own burning question. Have you seen her down here? Father's expression wavered and waned from sorrow to utter fear as he thought about the question. I noticed something from his body language. He was looking straight at me instead of looking around and over his shoulder. That must mean that he knows something terrible about that answer to my question. She was here for some time, he said with caution, but he took a lot of time coming together with the next words to say. A warm surge wiped over me like a fire starting at my feet. I shook my head in disbelief. No. A group of people came and took her some time ago, he said with a second-hand fear to his voice. They were able to keep back the gardener as they took her out of here. As good as dead, they say. Is this what they meant? They could just come in here and take the dead and use them for whatever they desire? What good is a dead man? His spirit cannot impact the tangible world anymore. There's no use to bringing him back. I had seen too often what she had done when she was alive. If there are secrets of the dead that I don't know about, I must get back to Allie. But the seeds. I must get the seeds. I looked over to Ellie's father, and he took that as his sign to return to us. I'm sorry, I said quickly and flatly, but I have to go. Maybe I'll visit when the time isn't so dire in the first place. Allie, I get taken away from her, and now I'm in this strange realm. I don't know how long I've been here, but I need to get what I've suddenly been told to retrieve and get out of here. I ran through the valley before me, with immense sand dunes towering above my head. I dodged every spirit that was in my way. Who knows the thousands and millions of thousands of stories and wisdom they could tell. Allie, my goal has never changed, but now I must get back to her as fast as I can. But first, the seeds. I reached the strange gate that sat at the entrance of the sepulchre. With no resistance, I dashed through, and the gardener didn't even acknowledge my presence. In the vast expanse again, I knew what I needed to do, but I have no idea where the hell I need to go. Hi, this is David Halem, and you just finished listening to Slight Rain from my story, Status Stranded. I hope you enjoy. See you next week.